Yes, thank you very much, Anton, for your speech. Given that time is so limited, I will limit my comments to what Anton said, to saying that there have been several new regulatory changes that should be taken into account when we do this kind of studies. Well, for example, reserve forests will now be considered part of managed forests, and this is like 20% of total forest area, and most of them are in Siberia. I mean, theoretically speaking, it should lead to an increase in our, well, at least theoretical calculations of sequestration potential. However, we know that reserve areas are very difficult to fight fires in because they don't have roads in them. So I'm afraid this is only going to exacerbate the problem of forest fires. Now, there are lots of factors that drive the ability of a Russian forest to absorb carbon. We need to agree that forest fires are the most important factor at play. And the trend has been pretty bad, pretty negative lately. I mean, we're seeing more and more forest fires every year. There is another thing that we discussed several days ago at the level of some public committee. That is, we were talking about forests, a new growth in deserted former agricultural land. It's like 30 million hectares, actually. I mean, if we include them in the calculation, well, the calculation will change significantly. Also, we can use some deserted agricultural land for afforestation projects. And, well, baseline there obviously zero. And let me remind you, the number 30 million hectares has already experienced new growth of forests, and in 40 million hectares, we can actually do afforestation projects if we so choose. Now, I realize that the owners of this agricultural land that has experienced new growth of forests may not be happy about it. I just wanted to stress that it may be required now to take this new legislation into account. It's also important to remember that in boreal forests, roughly 40% of carbon is contained in the soil itself. And I mean, we do have the methodology. Methodology is not the issue here, but we do not have the primary data. That's why, you know, at least this explains part of the difference in assessments. I do believe we need to develop a network of forests for monitoring purposes, so to speak, you know, simply to be able to validate our hypothesis. We do not have validated assessments of this kind. I mean, it's a problem for all the methodologies, including the ROBUL methodology. And the coefficients that are used, for example, in ROBUL, you know, they are coming from somewhere. They come from some selected assessments, selected tests, and it's common knowledge that Russia is a huge country. I mean, there should be more diversity than what is built into ROBUL. Okay, thank you very much, Natalia.